opinion, Aaron Judge had the season for the ages. MLB robbed him and us. New York Yankees designated hitter Aaron Judge, 99, hit his 61 home run, scoring 2 runs against the Toronto Blue Jays during the 7th inning at Rogers Center. CNN history was made Wednesday night when Yankees slugger Aaron Judge hit his 61 home run. How do I know history was made? Because Major League Baseball has devoted much of the season to reminding us that history was about to be made. It's been everywhere, all over MLB.com, discussed by the MLB network, talking heads thrown up and down, left and right by the myriad broadcast booths. History will be made. History should be made. The history that is destined to be made will be amazing history because it's historic. The words themselves, history and historic, have served as a mask for the reality that by allowing rampant steroid and human growth hormone usage throughout the 1990s and the early 2000s, Major League Baseball ruined and disgraced his its own record book, and George's shot merely yawned ties at the American League home run mark. And if that there's one thing we've learned from former President Donald Trump, repeating a line pays dividends. The words somehow embedded embedded embed themselves into our psyches until after enough exposure we consider the through the thought both original and irrefutable. Or put a different way, Major League Baseball desperately wants you to believe George's 61 homer is historic. And the unfortunate truth is it is not. And the reason why is Major League Baseball itself. When the Yankees' Roger Maris eclipsed Babe Ruth's single season home run mark with 61 dingers in 1961, it was thought by many to be one of the great achievements in sports lore. Yes, there were, as there always are, critics and skeptics. Mary's 61 homers came over 161 games, while Ruth's took place in 154. The Lord's year of 1961 was also an expansion season, meaning additional teams with thinned out pitching staffs. But as the decades passed, Mary's 61 gained in heft. You could be a loyal Yankee fan and a casual Angels fan, an independent non-fan, and odds are you were still familiar with 61. That's how baseball milestones used to work. Joe Beganius 56 game hitting streak wasn't merely baseball history, but American history. The same went for Hank Aaron's 755 career homers, for Harry Mary's 61. They mattered. They were important. They stood the test of time. And then back in the 1990s, something happened. At the time, I was the baseball writer for Sports Illustrate, somewhat the bemused but relatively clueless as to why guys who once busted fragile stick physics prom- promptly reported to spring training looking like a cross pollination of Evander Holyfield and Michelangelo Stave. When in 1998, Mary's 61 was surpassed by not one, but too good to be true stars Mark McGuire, who hit 70 home runs, and Sammy Sosa, a more modest 66. A nation rolls and celebrates the demon the man gifted from the good gods. My own publication named McGuire and Sosa co-sportsman of the year and plastered their hulking figures atop a magazine cover, clad in togas. Before long, as more and more players underwent dramatic bodily transformations, turned to performance enhancing drugs, PEDs, like steroid and human growth hormone, a back of catcher would grab to the reporters off the record about the uneven playing field. A blatant gesture would explain away his muscular addictions by citing a juice diet, wink wink, or these amazing dated shakes my mom makes. Roger Maris of the New York Yankees batting during a game against the Detroit Tigers in 1960. Inside the press boxes, we discussed how what unfolded before us was increasingly impossible to believe. Baltimore's Brady Anderson, who previously had a career high season home run total of 21, raised his eyebrows and still unanswered questions. So when he hit 50, what occurred to make Sosa's body more and more like a champion bodybuilder, Lean Haney? Why does that 35-year-old second baseman have ache cutting his back? When in 2001, San Francisco's Barry Bonds broke McGuire's record with 73 homers, we all knew it was nonsense. Not some of us, all of us. Hey, here was the man at age 36 with the muscles growing atop muscles and the skull size that, as I reported in my Bonds biography, Love Me, Hate Me, had actually increased in recent years. This is physically impossible without the help of HGH. I was in San Francisco the night Bonds passed McGuire, and it was stupid, just so damn stupid. The local fans stood and cheered, but it felt flat and meaningless and a bit embarrassing, like spotting a magician fake thumb. Oh, all the white Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball Players Association did nothing. Home runs were great business, so team owners shrugged up PED suspicions, while the union made it clear it would refuse to have its players to be tested in any sort of methodical, in, in fact, impactful manner. The result was temporarily lumbar excitement, followed by the quiet yet crossing realization by most involved in the game that the record book had been rendered meaningless. Trivia. Finally, in 2002, the league and union agreed to survey testing, followed by the urine testing for PED in 2004, banned amphetamine testing in 2006, and blood testing for HGH in 2012. It's far from perfect, but it is improvement. We constantly improved that the testing program. Rob Manfred, the Major League Commissioner, said in 2016, the science gets better, and it is true that the windows of detection on certain substances have been lengthened. Windows of detection meaning the periods of time in which we can detect a substance in somebody's body have been improved. It's just the science getting better. With Wednesday's blast in Toronto, Judge and Maris are tied for the seventh most single season home runs of the all time, behind the Bonds. Two big McGuire years and three pro- preposterous long ball search from Sosa, which is why when I heard Michael Kay, the Yankees' fantastic announcer, celebrates the judge's moment with "He's been chasing history, and now he makes it." Well, I felt nothing but sadness. On the one hand, the 30-year-old slugger has had the season for the ages. He all but locked up the American League MVP award, and at this moment is in line to become the Yankees fan triple crown winner since Mickey Mantle in 1956. This should be a historic time for baseball. This should be a historic time for Aaron Judge. Instead, greed destroyed the baseball and took its story with it. An earlier version of this op-ed included the wrong number of home runs for Mark McGwire. He hit 70 home runs in 1998.